Well, thanks for joining me. Today we are going to be talking about bow kickstands. If you're like me, you've probably got one of these Pine Ridge archery kickstands. It's spring loaded. You put this in your pocket, you put this in your backpack or whatever, you carry it around with you, and after every shot you got to clamp this thing up onto your limb, make sure it's sitting in there well, and stand your bow up. Well, now if you get a hold of Mark over at DIYBowhunting.com, you can get yourself this bad boy. Super cool 3D printed bow kickstand. All you need is a couple of busted arrows. And if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know I've got some of them. So stick around, we're going to give this thing a review. So generally I don't do the unboxing part, but I love when something cool for hunting. So ordered this from DIY Bowhunting. I've been wanting to make one of these for a long time. Nate over at Average Jack Archery has some that he's done a little DIY on, and he's been using these for a long time. This style of stand for a long time, and I was gonna make one, but just saw this video the other day from DIY Bowhunting and went onto his website. He basically 3D prints it, so I'm just going to kind of show you exactly what you get, because this is just opening it up. And here's what you get. You get this cool little 3D printed stand with a couple screws sticking out of it. And what that's going to do is going to thread right onto, it's going to hold on to our bow, and then we're going to be able to thread on a couple arrows, and it's going to be pretty sweet. Alright, so I've run into two problems installing. Not major problems, but just problems for me that I'm going to modify. Problem number one is I just don't have a long enough bolt, because it's going through my quick connect, the adapter here, and my bow sling. So, I mean, that's not his fault or anything, but I'm going to have to get a longer bolt. Another thing that I don't like is he threaded this, which I can appreciate it, but I don't want it threaded. So, I want that to be a loose fit so that I can just push the bolt through. I think that's going to be better. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to drill this hole open. For that, I'm going to use a 5/16 drill bit. If you're using the fractions, it's .312. And I'm just going to drill that open. I'm going to open it up just a little bit. And that's going to allow our bolt to just slide through and not have to be threaded in. So we'll do that. Sweet. And that thing's mounted on there pretty sturdy. The other thing you're going to need is a couple of old arrows. And if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know I am not short on broken arrows. Because what you're going to do is you're basically just going to thread these things on. And then you need to figure out what length is going to work for you to make your own kickstand length. So here's how I'm going to determine this. I'm going to just hang this over the edge of the table, kind of get an idea of where I think that this is going to work, which I think is going to be about here. Now keep in mind, you can always cut more off. You can't add it. So right at the edge of the wrap should be a good starting height. I think I'm going to want more than that, but that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to mark it right here. And gee, if only I had an arrow saw. Oh wait, I have an arrow saw at home. Link to that down in the description, DIY arrow saw. This is a super cool product that I'm definitely happy to have on my bow right now. Made in the USA, small business. Anytime I can support those two things, I'm all about that. So visit Mark's YouTube page, DIY Bowhunting. Also DIYBowhunting.com. That's where you can get this thing. to your door for like 20 bucks. I ordered this thing 3 or 4 days ago and I already got it today. Super happy with that. Thanks, Mark, for that. Speaking of small business, what are we supporting? Sunrise Archery in Fenton, Michigan. They got a great shop. Also, a couple of modifications just because I can't leave well enough alone. One thing I am concerned with is that as I set this down, if I'm in some muddy ground, these arrows just kind of spiking in because they're hollowed out. So I'm just going to tap. This is basically just super close to the right size for this. So we're just going to thread the carbon fiber inside there to accept that bolt. Alright, so we're just going to thread our nut and bolt together with the washer, and then we'll send that into our threaded hole here. But I think this is what I'm going to keep on my bow from now on. Super quick and easy to attach. Just thread it on, thread it off with these arrows, thread the arrows on and off, and it's just a piece of lightweight 3D printed plastic with a couple screws in it. You can just leave that thing on your bow if you're not wanting to use the kickstand. Keep from having to carry this around with you all the time, so you can just leave it on while you shoot. So I think I'm going to be trying that out this summer. Cool little product. Visit DIYbowhunting.com to go pick yours up. As always, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.